President Biden having an excellent time at the White House Easter egg roll and hopping right into speculation over 2024. Looks like everyone was there. The giant human-sized bunnies mixing it up with influence-peddling members of his family like Hunter. It was all fun and games until Biden dangled this carrot in front of millions of anxious Democrats.
Mr. President, will you be taking part in the Easter egg rolls after 2024?
Well, I plan on at least 3 or 4 more Easter egg rolls.
At least 3 or 4 more?
Maybe 5.
Maybe 5?
maybe 6.
So
what the hell?
Are you saying that you would be taking part in our upcoming election in 2024?
Well, I'll either be rolling an egg or being the guy who's pushing them out.
Come on, help a brother out. Make some news for me.
I plan on running now, but we're not prepared to announce it yet.
All right, whatever. Although the president isn't prepared to make things official, he does have a re-election strategy ready to go. An army of TikTok influencers. Yep, the same Chinese-owned app that lawmakers are considering banning because of national security concerns. The plan seems obvious. Gen Z has fallen out of love with Joe, and he has to juice those numbers somehow. But it gets more annoying. The Biden administration is even considering creating a separate briefing room at the White House for the TikTokers. So brace yourself for more of this.
Hi, my name is Cooper, and this is a day in my life as a White House intern.
Hey, Jenny. I booked you a nail appointment, love.
Yeah, I didn't tell you to do that.
It's called Initiative. Hi, White House. This is Cooper. I don't think so. Oh, doesn't matter. And Jen, don't forget to have fun.
So, Jesse, this is interesting. Their strategy is enlisting the dumbest, most vacuous, most destructive, least experienced idiots on earth, otherwise known as influencers from TikTok. What does that tell you about the Democratic Party? They don't care that they're enlisting something that destroys people's minds.
That tells me you buy influencers when you can't influence anybody yourself. Joe Biden's idea of persuading someone is to say, come on, man. The guy doesn't inspire. He doesn't influence. You know, Barack Obama sent a thrill down Chris Matthews' leg. He didn't pay an influencer to send the thrill. He sent that thrill himself. Joe Biden can't send thrills because the man has no original ideas ever. He plagiarized his way through life. He's never said anything that's anyone ever got up off of their seat and went like that. So this is their new strategy, is to pay influencers, and then he's going to have surrogates campaign for him. He stays in Delaware, and then J.B. Pritzker goes out and gives a speech. Now, if the media was having a really hard time trying to say, you know, Trump's in bed with Russia, how is this guy not in bed with China? He's inviting an army of young people with phones, with a Chinese spy app into the White House for 2 years and giving them offices. I mean, how easy is it? These guys are just hired guns anyway, Greg. You wave a bunch of cash in someone's face and say you can have the key to the White House, they're going to do whatever you want. And the fact that the guy broke his re-election announcement to a weatherman during an Easter egg roll tells you something. What happened the last time Al Roker was at the White House? I think he sharded.
Yes, he did.
This was a much better story for Al. I don't even think Biden was planning on making this announcement. He just got guilted into it. Oh, can you break some news for me, Joe? Sure, Al, why not?
Jesse, I love how you bring a bit of history to these topics. A lot of people wouldn't have remembered this shardable moment.
That's a disgusting juxtaposition.
And no, but bringing it back, it kind of sets the stage for my next question, Dana.
Oh, great.
No, so doesn't this explain why the restrict bill just died? Because they deliberately made it so broad that it couldn't pass. It was supposed to be about TikTok, and then they made it about all these other private websites. And that was because they didn't want it, because this is what they really want.
Right, because so now they're betwixt and between, which is a little phrase I heard, because they know that they want to try to make sure that they have the youth vote, and more on that in just a moment. And also, at the time when they announced it at the briefing room, they couldn't answer why he would be calling for the Restrict Act at the same time he did a TikTok video for St. Patrick's Day. And they were like, oh yeah, we don't really know. And maybe they weren't told. Do you remember at the beginning of the administration, when they first got there, they weren't even allowed to have a Peloton because of the concern about the Wi-Fi and the thing. So now, to Jesse's point, bringing all of these people in with the TikTok on their phones, you're not allowed to have TikTok on your government phone. But you can have TikTok as an influencer on your phone when you go into the White House. And also, how are you going to allow TikTok influencers for your campaign to have office space at the White House.
Yeah.
If you're going to open up an office space because you think social media influencers are important to the discussion, well, then that means you have to be open to everybody coming in. And do you really want that? I don't think so. However, a couple of things. The millennials were for banning TikTok in the most recent poll, 45 to 25. The youngsters, 18 to 29-year-olds, were not, but they were only 49% for it. So there is an opening here where you could have gotten everyone together and say, let's band together, let's all use a different platform to communicate. But these college town turnouts, Greg, last week when you were away, and we missed you very much, there was an election in Wisconsin. The Democrats mopped the floor with the Republicans. And one of the ways they did that is they ran up the vote totals in the two big college towns. And that's what they did in Arizona, and they're planning it all across the country. So there is a method to their madness, but it is mad.
So, Katie, you know, they say influencers, but they never say whether it's good or bad influence. I mean, generally, the ones that I see strike me as mentally unwell, people that seek attention and are driven by envy. And I don't think they have a keen grasp on inflation. Or,
you mean the guy with the long nails doesn't understand inflation?
Yeah, exactly.
The nail salon's a lot more expensive now.
Yeah.
So maybe he does. You never know. No, Dana's right. I mean, people always say you don't need to reach out to the youth vote because they don't turn out to vote, so it's a waste of time. That's not a waste of time, as we've seen for Democrats lately. But when it comes to the TikTok issue, Republicans and some Democrats, few of them, some of them, talk about TikTok as a national security problem to protect the country from a foreign adversary who is poisoning the minds of the youth, who are making these monsters out of young people. But Democrats, most of them, and the White House talk about it in terms of vote turnout, in terms of political problems. They are concerned that if they protect national security, they will somehow damage themselves politically, and that's a problem for them. And they do have this huge issue where they're filming videos inside the White House where there are classified spaces like SCIFs on TikTok where the Chinese government has the location, all the information on the phone from the White House. But then I want to comment real quickly on Joe Biden saying he's going to be rolling Easter eggs for however many years. The White House can't say that he's not running for re-election because then he becomes even more irrelevant, right? He becomes even more of a lame duck than he would be if he were to say, I am running. So they can't say that until they decide he's either in and who's going to be the backup. And Gavin Newsom's the guy that really wants that position.
So, Geraldo, let's say you were Gen Z now. You probably would have been an influencer. Would you have been a TikTok influencer? What would you be doing on TikTok?
What wouldn't he be doing?
What I wouldn't be. To Dana's point on the election, the various elections, the most consequential election of 2023 was in Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Madison, Wisconsin, where my wife attended University of Wisconsin. There are precincts where, one particular precinct, where there were 40 votes cast in 2019. There were 400 votes cast, 500 votes cast, 500 versus 44 votes. Gen Z is the key to Joe Biden's reelection. He's definitely running. He can't win without these kids. The kids are the wokest generation ever. They are motivated. They are turned on. My daughter, for instance, 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago, on a national school walkout day to protest gun violence. Very appropriate today.
Is it a private school?
What happened? Yeah, private school.
So you paid for her and she walked out?
She walked out, she came back. But I appreciated the fact that she was motivated, that she wanted to end to gun violence. These kids are the key to the coming election. The Democrats understand it. The Republicans better get on board. Otherwise, they're going to get their butts kicked.
All right.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.